Hi, everyone. My name is Danielle Goodwin, and I am the Director of Business Development here at Coldwell Banker Tomlinson. I am thrilled to announce the launch of our brand new podcast series, Real Life in Listings, and I have sitting next to me my very good friend and realtor here at the company, Alex Danilovich. She's going to stick with us and tell us all about her career and her journey in real estate. But I do have a few questions ahead of time.
It's a journey. Yeah, go ahead.
It's a journey. Let's do some icebreakers, shall we?
Love icebreakers.
Okay. Favorite way to relax at the end of the day?
With or without children?
Well, you have children. So
I have children. So this is PG, people. My favorite way to relax at the end of the day is to make sure that my kids are good, and Xander, my 5-year-old, loves to snuggle. And so just after we've done everything, they're bathed, they're fed, kitchen is clean, we lay on the couch and we just snuggle up all together, and with my 1-year-old too. And that's probably my favorite way right now, is just to kind of snuggle up with my kiddos.
You gotta do it.
And turn on the TV, because that's pretty much the only way that I can kind of tune everything out and just relax and be there.
Me too. I'm the same way. I have to have some sort of noise.
Well, totally. Yeah. If I can concentrate on something to keep my brain quiet and not think of all the things that we have to do, because we're moms and we're business women, we have to do all the things. So that's probably it. I
agree. Okay, tell me what your dream job as a child would be.
Oh, this is an easy one. So I really wanted to be a sports broadcaster. I absolutely love sports. I grew up a tomboy, played every sport possible for girls. So Title IX, thank you. But I wanted to be a sportscaster, and I wanted to go to the Ronald Reagan School of Broadcasting.
I had no idea.
Ronald Reagan was my favorite president. So
I love it. I had no idea.
When he was a kid and he was getting into different things for acting and stuff. So he was born in Illinois. I believe the school is actually in Indiana, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so
that's awesome.
I wanted to be a sports broadcaster and go to that school specifically.
I love it. So first of all, female sports broadcaster, you don't hear that very often.
Especially back in my day.
Sure.
So Hannah Storm was about the only one for basketball back in that day. And I would watch, what was that show on Saturday mornings called and they followed basketball. And I wish I remember something hoops or something. Anyways, that kind of really got me going. And I watched football, basketball, baseball. I love it. Yeah, I was. So
you're a sports fanatic.
Sports fanatic, and there was no Erin Andrews back then. So I wanted to be the first Erin Andrews before Erin Andrews even knew who she was.
I love it. Let's transition into your career with real estate.
Yeah.
In fact, we just listened to the first message that I left you trying to recruit you to this company, right? And that was awesome.
I know. I found it literally yesterday. I was going through stuff.
How long ago was that?
That was January of 2021.
Dang.
Yeah.
Right in the thick of,
yeah. I mean, it still kind of was.
We were amping up.
Yeah.
To be busy.
Yes.
So you got in at a very busy time.
Yes. I saw a reel the other day, because I do that. And it was... it said all the realtors trying to survive the only realtors that survived out of 2021, and it has hundreds of surfers trying to catch this one wave. And this one guy comes out at the end is like, yeah. And I was like, that's me.
Yes, absolutely.
There wasn't a lot of, I haven't seen one person from my class. And I've talked to a few of them. And so I'm not sure how many of us actually survived, but I'm happy to say because of you. And I totally give props for my success and for just guiding me along the way and believing in me that I'm still here.
Well, the success is due to you. I just helped you along and told you what to do and trained you. So
I listened
very well. The props go to you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Talk to me about your first transaction. What did that look like? How did that make you feel as a realtor?
So that was awesome. My first transaction was a referral.
That's great.
Yeah. So a good buddy of mine got into lending about a year before I got into real estate. And the second he found out that I got into real estate, he's like, I will work with you. He goes, I know you've never done this before. And anybody that we work with will never know that you've never done this before, because he knew me on a personal level and on a friendship So like in my other business, and he's like, I just know that you're going to do the job. So it was a referral.
Yeah.
So all the dominoes are like lined up, so I could either like knock them down and crush it, or I could knock them down and really suck. I crushed it. And I still, in fact, I just saw Eric the other day. His son is just a little bit younger than my son. He's had another son since. I've had Arya since. So he's referred to me as well. He still lives in the house. He's loving it, and with him and his family. And I love it. It was great.
I love it.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the transition between that first transaction to now. What are some of the largest learning experiences along the way that you've learned?
Well, with that one, he was a first-time home buyer.
Yeah.
At like the $400,000 mark, and back in 2021, I mean,
that was a gong show.
It was a gong show,
like Blair would say.
Yeah, exactly. And I literally was thrown out into sharks immediately, and trying to write the best contracts and best offers that I absolutely could to get my clients in the door and their foot in the door. And unfortunately, for something like that, a lot of like appraisals were being waived, and not appraisals, the appraisal contingency, and people were paying much more than appraisals came in, and he did not have those funds. And people were saying no to inspections, and I, in my heart of hearts, I'm like, you can say no, I do not recommend it whatsoever. Sure. Please get your inspection. Sure. And so it was really hard very, very hard for a first-time home buyer. I will say that I ended up getting him into new construction. Yeah. And he wasn't even ever looking at new construction. So I kind of just laid it out there for him, and I said, here are some amazing options that you have available to you, and and we got him in new construction, and that was the best. We lost out on about 8.
Yeah.
And hard. So it was a lot, and he understood, he stuck with me. But between when I got him as a client, let's see, I started with you at the end of February. I got him as a client in March, and we were closed at the beginning of May.
That's awesome.
So I think it was only like 5 weeks.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not very heard of for a brand new agent to come in and knock it out of the park in 90 days.
Well, trying to.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
So I luckily, just who I am and my prior business experience of owning my own business, I'm very quick and I'm very efficient, and I think quick as a cat. And that's why real estate actually is a really good fit for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's always changing, never
always
the same.
Changing. So what? I've been in it since 21, and I think I've seen 4 different markets.
Like I said.
Yeah.
Always changing. Yeah. You said 400 for your first transaction. You know what mine was?
Well, I know when you started, so I'm going to say like 78,000.
Wow. 135.
Oh. It's Idaho, you never know.
Yes.
135 is really good for back then.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not too shabby.
It's pretty good.
So when try to do 15 deals a year, you're pounding the pavement.
Yeah, you totally are. Yeah, you're working your butt off for that.
Right?
For sure.
What's the best thing about real estate to you?
The people.
Yeah.
Connections, people, community. I've always been in it for service. Sure. And I think that's another reason probably why I've stayed successful. And it's my heart of service. And in my previous career, pain management was my specialty. And I feel like this is that, but just in a whole different way.
Oh, yeah.
You are here to try and ease people as much as possible, and to be of service to them, and to think outside the box, and to make them feel better about what they're doing and how they're doing it.
Absolutely. And helping somebody with their biggest investment in life.
Which is huge.
It is.
Yeah. So besides health, which is what I was in, I feel like this is second to that.
I love it.
And it was just a great fit. It was my husband that actually pushed me into real estate. It wasn't me.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. He just always told me that. He's like, babe, you have a really great personality for it. You can talk to anybody. You like helping people, and you love real estate. Like, you love homes. You love all the things about it. So he was the one that pushed me into it.
I love it.
I'm glad he did.
What about your hardest transaction in the what, 4 years? What year are we in? 24.
Yeah, 24. Yeah. So we're working into year 4. I'm out about 3.5 years now.
Yeah.
My hardest transaction, there was a few of them.
I remember.
Yeah. There was the crazy one, and then there was the mean one. So the mean ones, I ended up having to go out to the prison to get power of attorney signed because who I was working with, unfortunately, at the title company, don't want to say any names, did not get it done in a proper amount of time, and we really needed to close because they were going to lose this house if that didn't happen. And so yeah, I ended up at the prison. I will go beyond,
over and beyond,
over and beyond. And then he, at the end of it, he just was very mean. The buyer. Yeah. And there was 3 buyers on this transaction. It was like a multi-family situation. Living in a tri-level home. Yeah. Which the fact that we found a tri-level home and it was in their budget and it was getting a brand new roof. Yeah. He was very mean. And I can handle mean people pretty well. Yeah. But to have to stay professional and still have to kind of eat crow because I'm like, okay. Yeah. And then your lender threw me under the bus. Awesome. Like, yeah. Cool. The lender ended up not even being around because he went hunting. And so he wasn't even there for the close and the last week of our close when everything was falling apart. Yeah.
It's sometimes hard in this business to bite your tongue.
Yep.
And make sure that, you sit back and just do the job.
Yeah, and exactly. Sure and eventually, in your heart of hearts, it doesn't matter whoever else knows the truth. You know what you did. You know the truth. The good Lord knows the truth, and you just have to be happy with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You did right.
Thanks. So, yeah. And then the other one was with the crazy lady. So I do remember that one.
I remember that one.
And God bless her. God bless her. I, as much as I love recurring clients, because in my health and wellness business as a physiotherapist, like, you love repeat business. Sure. Love repeat business. But as a business owner, you do not have to take all the business.
I agree. Yeah.
And that is freeing and knowing, like, okay, we're done. Godspeed. Jesus loves you. I don't, but Jesus does. Have a good one. We don't ever need to work together again. Be blessed.
The best part about real estate is you can turn the client down, right?
Exactly.
They can choose to work with you, but you can choose not to work with them.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you got to use your gut.
Absolutely. And that's, knowing that as a business owner is very freeing. Just bless and release and move on to the next one. So it's not like you always have to have that in your head, like, I have to keep them. No, you don't. Absolutely not. Some people are not for me, and I'm not for some people. So
I agree. Yeah. And you have to learn that. I think it takes a minute to learn that, just because we want to make the money, right?
Right.
And that's how we make our money.
Exactly.
Right. And so we're willing to bring in some of those that maybe we shouldn't have worked with in the first place. I have a few of those.
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah. You've heard a couple of my stories.
Yeah.
Right. You just have to be willing to stand up and say, you know what, I don't think we're a right fit.
Yeah, exactly.
So
right.
I like it.
Sometimes you just have to part ways. But like you said, especially when you're starting out, there's that desperation of like, I got to pay my bills.
Yeah.
Because not only do I have to pay my bills, but now I have extra added cost into my life that I don't think most people realize, the extra added cost of being a part of associations, having, brokerage fees, having marketing that you need to do, spending time and money and going to events to get your name out there, to make connections, to be with people.
Absolutely.
That all costs money too.
Yeah.
And I think those are underlying things that people actually don't realize. Yeah.
Yeah. So talk to me about why Coldwell Banker.
You.
Aww.
It's true.
I'm gonna cry.
It's true. I took my time. So first week of January, first 2 weeks, did school. I absolutely loved it, which is so weird for me. I was the total nerd in school.
You loved real estate school?
I did. I loved real estate school. I did. I was such a dork.
Oh my God, I love it. That's why you like to come to the schools and speak with me, right? Is it like nostalgic?
It kind of is, yeah. It really is.
I love it.
I just dug it, and everything made sense to me, actually. And so that was kind of fun. And so I did real estate school. I immediately took my test and passed, and then I went shopping for a brokerage. And I interviewed with a couple people, and our mutual friend, well, Misty is a good friend of mine. She's like, you know what? My brokerage doesn't hire rookies, but go talk to Danielle over at Coldwell Banker, because that's where she started out, and she loved it, and she thinks it's amazing. And so she guided me over to you. You actually called me before I got a chance to call you, which was awesome. And the second I met you, sat down in the office, I felt like the energy that's in the downtown office, and I was like, oh, this is it. Like, she's my girl.
Aww.
And this is a great office. You've got this huge national brand.
Yeah.
And we had we still do, but even back then, I think even more so, just this sweet boutique brokerage feel to it. And that's what I was looking for.
Sure.
And so, yeah,
Using
so thanks
the
for calling. Yeah.
I love it because we get to use that larger part when we need it, but we can also feel like boutique-y when we need
exactly.
to as well.
And even though this 10-mile office is big, I mean, everybody's so kind. Everybody knows you. They all know my kids. They're so sweet. Everybody loves on my kids when I bring them, because I do bring them a lot.
It's a family business.
It is a family business. And that's another reason why I chose it, was because that is... I've always wanted, my dad was self-employed. I knew I was going to be self-employed, and I was. I've been self-employed since 2009.
Yeah.
So, a long time. And I just knew that that's how I was going to live life. And if somebody didn't like it, then, oh well.
Sorry.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Well, I appreciate you being here with me today.
Well, thanks for having me.
I love you.
I love you
You're
too.
You're a very good friend of mine.
Oh, I
as
love you.
well
You're
as
great,
one of the better
friend.
agents that I have ever hired.
Well, I feel like I was your start into this new position of yours.
Oh.
And
It definitely
when
was.
success reads, no, I'm
Right?
kidding.
I keep going back to that first one.
That's it. That's my girl.
I love it.
So
All
thank you
right.
for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me back. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. I love you.
Love you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.